Dear friends, residents and visitors, dear viewers of Tele Basel. Basel and its three countries corner is located in the middle of Europe, between the Vosges, the Black Forest and the Swiss Alps. So it might be very surprising to discover here a touch of the sea, a touch and a sense of the big wide world on the old port of the River Rhine. We invite you, come along with us to find a bit more out about the starting point of our way to the sea.
Rolling home, rolling home, rolling home across the sea.
In our Rhine ports we still feel a touch of nostalgia. For instance, with the Störtebeckers, a choir of former sailors who meet weekly and perform their shanties. A fountain reminds us of Rudolf Gelbke, who proved in 1904 the possibility and the economical success and the competitiveness against the rising importance of the railways by the transportation on the Rhine of 300 tons of coal. For a short historical review, you may visit the exhibition about the traffic junction of Switzerland. Here we meet its president, André Oderset.
There
are two main functions of this exhibition. On one side we show the history from the first transportation of coal to Basel in 1804 on. On the other side we present the significance of Basel as a traffic junction, from the Rhine to the airport. And of course, the exhibition develops permanently. 1225, the first firm and for centuries the only bridge over the Rhine, on the way to the North Sea, was built in Basel. In fact, this was the beginning of Basel's importance for the transportation business. But the description of our history in the exhibition starts much later. In the upper floor, we admire a splendid historic presentation of our port facilities in Basel, who changed her former name in 2008 into Port of Switzerland.
And we'll sing in joyful chorus in the watches of the night, and we'll sight the shores of England when the
A great number of model ships show the technical progress. Barges of the Middle Ages, bridle boats, the towing system from 1873 to 1910, the first paddle steamers, up to the navigation of today. We learn that the constitution of the navigation on the Rhine was determined by the so-called Mannheim Act in 1868, an agreement that was signed by the Swiss Confederation in the 1960s only.
and friends once more.
A steering simulator, a special attraction for little and big boys, demonstrates the challenging profession of a captain or even an owner of a Rhine vessel. By the way, still today sailors working on the Rhine are educated and certificated in special courses of instruction. This here is the old training ship of Basel, her name Leida Thumar, is the Rheto-Romanic name of Lake Thoma in the Grisons Alps, the proper source of the River Rhine. Just around the corner, the shipping traffic on this upper Rhine is controlled and made safe from the pilotage traffic center, today a sophisticated control tower.
Okay.
Looking quite different to the situation in 1985. Of course, in the meantime, the significance and security has decisively changed. Let's have a look to some impressions of our port here in Basel. Where we meet with Nina Hochstrasser, who tells us a bit more about the importance of these facilities.
Rheinports Basel-Mulhouse-Weil ist ein trinationales Projekt, also
Rheinports Basel-Mulhouse-Weil means a tri-national project with Basel, Mulhouse and Weil am Rhein. The common handling of 12.5 billion tons per year shows the very high importance. In fact, it is the second or third position on the Rhine. Of course, this rank is brought up by the conglomerate at the end or beginning of the River Rhine. But however, nobody who handles with goods can ignore this important junction.
Die Bedeutung kommt halt auch daher, dass halt wie so ein Konglomerat ist am Anfang oder am Ende vom Rhein, je nachdem aus welcher Perspektive man es betrachtet. Aber es ist auf jeden Fall so, dass man um den Knotenpunkt am Rhein eigentlich nicht herumkommt, wenn man Güter transportieren will.
Indeed, to repeat it, we are talking about the combination of 7 ports in 3 countries. Upstream the port of Muttenz and the port of Birsfelden. The port of Basel with its 2 basins. The German Weil am Rhein, and just opposite the French port of Huningue, Ile Napoléon in Mulhouse, and finally Ottmarsheim. We climb up to the top roof of the granary silo and enjoy a wide view to Weil, where sometime later Wolfgang Dietz, the mayor of the city, talks to us about good opportunities for the port in the next future. There will be an increasing traffic on the Rhine. Therefore, the ports in our 3 countries have to collaborate and to define who is doing what. We have to split and classify. So we will be able to find an excellent position in this concert of the European inland ports. Of course, in this context, Weil plays an important part with its direct connections to the German and Swiss railway systems, to the motorway networks of Germany, Switzerland and France. Having said this, the port of Weil with 700 jobs also acts clearly as a stable partner in this triplet. Hans-Peter Mösch, manager of Weil's port, underlines.
Die Rheinhäfen im Dreiländereck sind ein wichtiger Faktor.
The Rhine ports in the 3 countries corner are an important economic factor. We work on a close cross-border collaboration, mainly in the container business. Main decisions for the future will be taken jointly.
Die neuen Weichenstellungen für die Zukunft gemeinsam erfolgen.
Handled bulk goods in Weil are in particular sand, coal, recycling goods and thousands of tons granite, predominantly from China. But in Weil as well, container traffic defines the main business. 20,000 containers per year, and the volume is increasing, as we shall explain again later on. One third of all incoming fuel to Switzerland passes the Rhine in Basel, at the sharp turn of the river and underneath the low arch of our middle bridge, known as the Nile Eye, the most difficult part for the navigation on the whole length of the Rhine. Further upstream, we are lifted through the lock in Besfelden. By the way, the operation of a log is nicely depicted in the mentioned exhibition at the Rhine port.
We write the sparkling foam.
Then here's to the sailor, and here's to the hearts of truth.
Who will think of him upon the water's blue?
The handling of cargo in Besfelden shows metal, petroleum, different kinds of dry goods and again containers. And the huge silos in Muttenz show that here mineral oil, chemical and agricultural products are being imported. Another lock has to be passed on the way to Mulhouse. It's the lock of Niffer, leading to the canal to the Rhône, with its fancy lockhouse built in 1961 by Le Corbusier.
Then here's to the sail.
On the quay at Ile Napoléon in Mulhouse, we meet with the manager of the Port Mulhouse-Rhin, Jackie Scheidecker, another partner who is also persuaded of a joint future with all ports in the region.
Die ökonomische Realität von einem Hafen ist sein Hinterland.
The hinterland represents the economical reality of a port, and our hinterland will be built up together with our colleagues in Basel and in Weil. It took us 40 years of watching each other. Now, every one of us has done a step forward towards their counterparts, and we try to build up something steady and long-lasting. The name of this project is Rhine Port. Mulhouse-Rhin appears as number 3 of the French inland ports, just behind Paris and Strasbourg. And in a different way, Mulhouse is not a public enterprise, but belongs to the Chamber of Commerce. The main partner of the Alsatian port is situated in Ottmarsheim, at the channeled branch of the Rhine, the so-called Grand Canal du Rhin. Transportation, chemical and metallurgy industry, food construction, a big variety of 200 jobs. The crossing of the pushing boat, Aarkepel, reminds us of a similar combination we met the day before in the port of Basel. This Eiger and Nordwand represent one of the boats that will be reconverted from petroleum into gas operation mode in the near future, as an important contribution to environment protection. About this important requirement, once again Mayor Dietz from Weil. For us here in our 3 countries region, the Rhine means a common vein, a transportation way that blends excellently into our ecological needs. Making jointly use of this potential signifies a historical progress. I hope that our collaboration will bear further fruit. About the ecological advantage of water carriage, just 2 examples. A petroleum tanker on the Rhine represents the equivalent to 22 railway wagons or 150 road tankers. And a ship carries 300 containers, which means 300 trucks or 20 railway trains.
Der Containerverkehr ist das Segment, wo das grösste Zukunftspotenzial hat von der ganzen Logistik, oder?
The container sector represents the biggest potential in transportation business for the future. After the eras of coal and mineral oil, we live for a long time already in the age of the containers. In fact, the container means the transportation medium that can be used worldwide in a comfortable and conformable way. And we have to consider that our partners, the leading harbours at the North Sea, Antwerp and Rotterdam, are developing steadily. Manager Hans-Peter Hardorn of the Swiss ports knows very well that the expectations of the main port at the North Sea and Rotterdam count with a doubling volume of containers within the next 8 years. The substitution of rail and roadways along the Rhine is imperative. Here in Basel, at the start and the end of the waterway, we have to prepare for the increasing debarkation of containers in our region. Therefore, we have, together with the railways, developed the so-called project of Basel North on the Swiss side of the former German